David here with Figboot on Pens, back again with another fountain pen review. Today I have for you a pen from Montblanc. It's something that's relatively new to their lineup and is something a little different that I think you'll enjoy. And it is called the Bonheur Nuit. Thanks go out to Jost from Applebaum for the loan of this unique pen for review. The pen arrives in this simple yet classy clamshell box. Also included is a rather extensive use and care guide in a number of languages. Something I found interesting in here is that they have examples of all of the fonts available for their engraving services. And as you can see here, the first couple of fonts are described as grotesque. Now, typically in English, grotesque means like repulsive or ugly. So why would you want to describe something that's engraved on your pen as grotesque? Well, grotesque actually refers to a set of sans serif fonts produced around 1815. Now, one more thing about fonts. Check this out. These two lowercase h's. You can see the one here on the right has little flares at the end of each line. Those little flares are called serifs. So it is a serif font. And the letter on the left does not have those accents, more straight lines. So it would be a sans serif font. Okay, enough font talk for today. Let's actually take a look at a pen. And here it is. This is the Montblanc Bonheur Nuit. Montblanc's Bonheur connection is rooted in the heritage of the 1920s fashion revolution, symbolizing elegance and freedom. Bonheur is the French word for happiness, and Nuit is French for night. This pen is made from a combination of black shiny and matte precious resin, and the trim is gold coated. The shape is meant to invoke the silhouette of a woman with her shoulders, some curves going down to a waist, and then a taper down through the legs. Let's start by taking a look at the cap. The end is shiny resin and inlaid with the Montblanc emblem. I like that this snow peak is a bit larger and is size appropriate for the wide finial. I think it would have looked a bit odd to have a smaller emblem in here. This transitions into a petite gold-covered clip and band. The serial number is actually found on the side of the clip band, and underneath the clip it is printed "Made in Germany" metal. It seems like there is always an interest in what is printed on the underside of Montblanc clips. As mentioned previously, the cap is concave. It is the matte resin, and then it transitions into a gold-coated band. On the band, it says Montblanc twice. Not sure why they made the decision to do that. I think I would have liked to have seen the name maybe appear on the pen at least, rather than just duplicating Montblanc twice. The matte resin barrel then tapers down at an even angle until we have another gold-plated band and an extended shiny resin piece here at the end, which is rounded. The cap twists off, and underneath we have a very beautiful 14-karat gold rhodium-coated nib with a shooting star design, which actually references the Nuit, or night, portion of the name of this pen. I do like the stamped shooting star design. While this nib is rather small, I feel that it's size appropriate for this pen. And then here's a look at the plastic feed. The section begins with a matte resin flare and angles up just slightly and transitions into some wide threads and a steep step up to the barrel. This section is a gold-coated metal, so it is a little bit on the slick side, but that flare helps me maintain my grip. While I'm typically not a fan of steep step-ups, this one doesn't bother me too much. I feel that it kind of follows the contour of my natural grip, so I really don't notice the elevation change that much. I typically prefer thicker sections, but I can use this one rather comfortably even for longer writing sessions. This pen does not post. Well, it does physically post, but with the narrow end and this thicker cap, it just rattles around on here. But that's fine, because I find that even though this is a smaller pen, for me, it's long enough to use unposted. The Bonheur Nuit is a cartridge-only pen. For a pen of this diminutive size, that's understandable. I typically don't purchase that many cartridges, but it's easy enough to load up a cartridge with your favorite bottled ink of choice, which is what I've done for this cartridge. The Montblanc Bonheur Nuit is a high-end pen meant for people who like smaller pens or have smaller hands. Typically, pens seems to get larger and girthier the more expensive they are. So this is a nice alternative for those looking for those parameters in a higher price range. The Montblanc Bonheur Nuit retails for $660. If you're in the market for a small luxury pen, then there's not a ton of options out there. And this one out here has a rather unique design, a very cool nib stamping, and it performs like a Montblanc, which I mean performs very well. So for what it is, I feel that it is a very nice pen. Thanks again. Go out to Yost at Applebaum for the loan of this pen for review. There will be a link in the notes below where you can check this pen out on the Applebaum site. So now it is time for some measurements, capped and uncapped size comparisons, and a writing sample. Here we go with some size comparisons for the Montblanc Bonheur Nuit. In regard to a few other kind of smaller, we'll call them pocket pens or smaller pens, here it is with an Aurora Optima. Here it is with a Sailor Pro Gear. And then here it is with a Montblanc 146. And then in regard to a few other black pens, here it is with a Kaweco Skyline Sport, a Lamy Safari, and a Pilot Metropolitan. And in regard to some uncapped comparisons, then here it is with the Aurora Optima, and here it is with the Sailor Pro Gear, and then here it is with the Montblanc 146. So here we go with the writing sample for the Montblanc Bonheur Nuit. And this is a fine 14 karat gold nib. And the ink that I'm using today is something brand new. It's from Leonardo. And it is their purple. This is what the ink looks like. It's a nice, real saturated purple. And compared to some of my other favorite purples, here it is with the Birmingham Andy Warhol Pop Art Purple. You can see it's very similar to that one. And here it is with Cross Violet, which is just a little bit darker. This is what the bottles look like. They are very nice. They are made in Italy, and these are 40 milliliter bottles. Okay, in regard to the rest of the writing sample, even though this nib is on the small side, I do care for it. It is fairly smooth with I'd say just the right amount of feedback. That there is a little bit of flexibility that you can get with this. And I've found that the ink flow is decent. And in regard to reverse writing, it doesn't lay down that much ink for reverse writing, but in regard to some fast writing, I feel that the feed keeps up just fine. So there we have the Montblanc Bonheur Nuit. I think for a smaller pen that it's something worthwhile to check out and something interesting that the Montblanc has in their lineup. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.